everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, we missed the start unfortunately, but luckily not much of it. But for some reason I don't see the counter counting down, unless this is just a warm-up lap still and we managed to actually still make it in time before. Yeah, no, they're weaving, so this is formation lap. So managed to actually rejoin on the formation lap, so we didn't miss the start. So that's a first. Because normally when we get here, we're stuck on a car, and if you're stuck on one car, you're going to basically broadcast the race from that one car's perspective, and that's the whole idea. So that's why we went out, just to be able to still roam between the cars. Still waiting for them to upgrade the whole spectator portion. I would love to have the option to drive on board with cars, being in the cockpit or a bumper cam or whatever, but we can only hope. Just still waiting for my co-commentator to get his visuals back. Here we come around the final corner.
There we go. And I have visuals.
Let's just see what this race start's going to be like. I think this is actually the first time I see a full race start where it allows me back in the game before the race starts. Here we go, green light it is. Right, counter start, counting down, and Kuda with a brilliant pull away. Gaff Peak missing out there. Gaff stays on the outside, and he's being challenged by Nick Leon on the inside. Oh, there's contact, but Gaff Peak came off the best. Nick Leon went spinning there, went sideways. So he will have some damage to the car. I'm not sure what the extent of damage is to Gaff Peak's car. And Chen is actually seizing the opportunity, putting it under pressure. Chen is going to go out to the inside. And Chen is through. Chen is into second place. Springbok Gamer up to fourth, and he's going to now try to put Gaff Peak under pressure.
I'm just waiting for my timing screen to update.
Kuda's pulling back.
There we go.
Kuda's pulling away. Vajach in fifth. What a start there. Nick Leon all the way at the back.
Does Gavin have substantial damage, or not really? It seems like he's chasing that Ferrari down. Ferrari's not getting away, so he wants to get back into second, and he knows that
yeah, he wants to go after Kuda. He's going to have to get past Chen ASAP.
He's going to have to get after Kuda. We've seen Kuda run away in the past. Well, we've seen him run away with Dirk in the past. There's no Dirk this time, so he can just get up the road all alone. So if these two start tripping over each other, they'll make that job even easier for him.
But Gaff Peak not with the best of starts, not what he would have wanted.
Springbok Gamer, we haven't mentioned him, he's up into fourth place.
Yeah,
the Judge
and Judge in fifth. Those two had brilliant start.
Tina Hen 6, Walnut Canoe 7, D-Man 8. He didn't come out
no, he also had a good start.
B-Racing 9th, I think he started 6th or 7th, so also losing a few positions. Tebs drops another position. As I'm talking, he goes down to 10th.
Nick Leon is staying out. Looks like he is catching EH Boucher. He stayed out, so it doesn't look like it's that bad of damage. Just recovery drive, went all the way to the back after that spin there, thanks to the contact into that first corner.
You might find that if he does have a little bit of damage, maybe doesn't want to come in and do anything now, it's not going to count as his mandatory stop, so we might find that he's one of the first cars to come in the moment that pit window opens.
Running a bit wide.
Pit window will open at 45 minutes remaining and close at 15 minutes remaining. 30-minute pit window, half the race distance you can pit, and then the 15-minute segments at the beginning and at the end of the race you cannot. Well, you can pit, but it won't count towards your mandatory. So maybe even if there is a little bit of damage, if the car is drivable and you're not losing too much time, it's obviously worth it to just stop the once. Pit stop in GT3 can take a long
all over
time.
The Ferrari, it's Springbok Gamer not able to hang on to them. Kuda not really pulling away as much as these two are fighting. They pretty much maintaining the gap at the moment to Kuda, so that would be a good sign for Gaff Peak, but he still need to get past Chen if he want to do something about that gap to Kuda.
Now
this is his best opportunity. He had a much better drive out of the corner. Now coming back, a bit of slipstream, trying to get to the inside. Momentary slipstream, did he get enough momentum there? He's on the inside and he's through. Gaffbeek is back into second. But now he's going to run wide. Is Chen going to come back at him?
He does.
Chen is going to challenge him, but this time Gaffbeek's got the inside line. The last time when they passed, it was the other way around. Gaffbeek managing to hold on to second, but that allowed Springbok Gamer right on the back of that Ferrari now.
Springbok Gamer is now right with them.
And of course, Kuda pulled away.
Needs to get his head down now. The next target is catch up to Kuda. Don't let him run away into the distance. So no more running wide and get that Ferrari off your tail. Chen, he's going to have to worry about Springbok Gamer pretty soon.
The judge in fifth not able to hang on to these guys. He's got a bit of a battle of his own there with Tina. Nicky on up to 10th.
Let's say all Volkswagen battle actually, and none of them are Volkswagens.
Yeah, and Tina in actually, Nick Leon in 10th, as I said, but D-Man dropping further down. He's now in 11th. Not sure there's some sort of issue that we're not aware of. And Gaffbeek not doing anything at the moment. Kuda now got a 3.5 second lead.
Kuda able to open that gap. Obviously, when Gavin and Chen were battling at it,
and they're still going at it. Chen is not letting go of Gaffbeek.
While they were battling, that gap went from 2 seconds to 2.8 seconds. That continues to grow, 3.8 seconds. And Chen still holding on to that Bentley, putting pressure. Gavin getting just a little bit of cross there on the rears.
Ah, there we go. Well, we got our first retirement. D-Man left the session. We're down to 11 drivers.
Had enough of that. Enough of that.
A few laps, 6 minutes of frustration, and that's it. He had enough.
D Racing, 10th. Nick Leon, 9th. Still making that recovery drive. Started in a much better position than what you see him now. His next target is Walnut Canoe, well, the screen says 1.3 seconds up the road, but clearly you can see that's not the case.
The timing screen is a bit delayed.
Obviously, if you ever watched the F1 stream, the difference is that the timing screen on the F1 is live, whereas this timing screen gets updated when the leaders pass the timing beams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you basically in the middle of the sector, there's no update. Chen still holding on to third.
Not letting Gaffbeek get away. Bit of a gap now opening up, but not much to speak about. Springbok Gamer dropping off again from them. And meantime, here at the back, the judge is still holding Tina behind him. And as I say, the Tina can have a look on the outside, because Tep's actually gained on this guy, so Tina feel the need to do something, and he kind of like spoiled it for himself. Judge is back into fifth, and that is now allowing Tep's to get right in the back of that Audi.
We're going to have a three-way battle soon.
And Tep's with a much better drive out of that final corner. He's going to challenge Tina in on the straight coming into the first corner. Tina in on the taking the inside line. Side by side, Tep's actually had momentum. Tep's is through. Tep's into 6th place.
Got him before the corner. Got great drive off that final corner. Got him down the straight. Didn't even need to pass him into the corner. Was able to do it on pure speed. So Tebs is up to...
Sixth place. Yeah, they didn't update yet. It's definitely 6.
So he's up to 6th place. He's going to be on the back of the judge, who's been holding on to that 5th place since the start of the race.
But will the judge be able to hold off Tep's as he did with Tina? Because funny, Tep's took exactly the same line that Gaffbeek did out of that final corner when he overtook Chen. And speaking of which, Chen has closed the gap. And Kuda still pulling away in front.
We have 2 different screens and 2 different consoles, but we literally commentate on the same stuff. so
we still make it work.
Chen still in 3rd.
Springbok Gamer dropping off constantly. Looks like Kuda made a little bit of a mistake because the gap closed a little bit.
3.8 seconds.
Unless
It
gap
happens
picker changes
sometimes.
really went fast, now chasing each other there.
If you're out there all by yourself, sometimes when concentration can go, when you've got someone to watch in your mirrors, you're...
Steps having a look at the inside. Oh, and he clips the judge. He sends the judge spinning. Steps just being a little bit hasty there, and he actually allows Tina in through. Tina runs off a bit, took a very wide line off the track, and he's through. So Tina in now into 5th place thanks to Teps clipping the judge and actually compromising himself out of that final corner.
Nick Leon was also able to get past there in the background, and now Judge will have a mirror full of Bentley. B Racing is on the back of him.
I think the judge will be now saying his favourite word over and over. He must be fuming under that helmet.
Metaphorical helmet, obviously not the whiskey chicken helmet.
No, not the whiskey chicken style driving, no.
Yeah, because chicken whiskey really wears a helmet. I'm mixing up his name on purpose, just by the way.
Yeah, that's a guy that sits in front of a rig. He sits in front of a rig with a helmet and gloves. I mean, it's not even real racing gloves.
I'm being recorded apparently, so
Oh, and Walnut Canoe had a bit of an incident. He's now running at the back.
Chen still third, Gavin second, Kuda first. No change in the top 3, Chen just
gap in front now. Close to us a little bit further. So as much as Chen and Gavpik are chasing each other, they did manage to close the gap a bit to Kuda.
Springbok Gamers 4th place is pretty comfortable for now.
Yeah, no, he keeps falling back from these guys, but yeah, like you say, comfortable. 8-second gap between him and Tinahan.
Tinahan and Tebbs. Tebbs obviously involved in the incident a lap ago that sent Judge from 5th to 8th. He will not be a happy man. Plus he has a Bentley behind him threatening that 8th place. Racing now coming down the straight behind the Judge. Not going to be close enough this time.
But that, come on, the Bentley on the Porsche, you can't really call that slipstream. Because that Bentley is so big and the Porsche is slimline, so he's not really gaining anything there.
I think he's still clipping the air on the outside of the car. So that would be a disaster. So what if the Bentley's in front? Everybody gets slipstream.
That car looks so big compared to the others.
It can just be anywhere on the track.
And finally, Gavpik has got some daylight between him and Chen.
Judge off the circuit. B Racing will go by.
That allows B Racing through. So B Racing on 8th. I think the Judge just lost his concentration there. Still fuming about that incident a few laps ago. And now maybe just pushing too hard, making a small mistake there, allowing B Racing through. If he can just put it together, he can go after B Racing.
Looking at the circuit there, if you saw where Judge ran wide and where he left the track, there was obviously some concrete there, some tarmac. That's just made me think of Belgium. Johan, did you hear about Spa-Francorchamps? It's getting a 80 million
euro upgrade, which involves grandstands. A grandstand there by Radel Au Rouge.
And part of the upgrade is they are going to put the gravel traps back.
Yeah, after all this time, we're finally going to have gravel traps back.
I think, you know, just when you go flat out at Spa in a Formula 1 car, you know a Formula 1 car can do it, but having gravel on the outside just to play on the driver's minds, because now if you run over the curb, there's more tarmac. What's the worst that can happen?
Now so you're going to go gravel
trap to the wind. But now if you can get 2 tires on the gravel and destroy your lap time on a 7-kilometer circuit.
Not just that, you go slightly wide, you get into that gravel, you get stuck, it's race over. Because it's not like back in the day you could be pushed out. If you beat it, that's it, end of the race.
So that's pretty exciting to see that classic F1 circuit is getting a major financial...
Oh wow, and Gap Peak took out a huge chunk of time to Kuda, and he opened up a gap to Chen. He's now really getting away from Chen and actually closing in on Kuda. Did he finally get his rhythm, or was there some mistakes there?
I think that was the key, whether Chen made a mistake or if Gavin was able to get away from him. I think he just...
No, but I think it might be, unless Kuda made a mistake and Chen, otherwise it can be that Gavin finally found some pace, because as much as he pulled away from Chen, he closed the gap to Kuda at the same time.
I think he just needed to get that Ferrari off his tail and get into his rhythm, get into his momentum. Don't know what the condition of these drivers are at the moment. I don't know if they're talking. I don't know if they're in some sort of a party chat, if they're all driving in silence. The judge is definitely not driving in silence. His house is probably very loud with the sound of his own voice.
He's probably talking to himself, using his favorite word. He's on the back of B Racing, trying to come back at him for that 8th place. And about 10 minutes to go. No, as I say 10 minutes, we're actually at pit. But pit window, isn't this a little bit early?
The pit window, I mentioned it earlier, Johan, you weren't listening.
I heard you, but I didn't pay attention because it was normally with 35 and it was a shorter period. But yeah, now obviously it opens now early and it's open for a bit longer.
So the pit window opens at 45 minutes remaining, it closes at 15 minutes remaining. It gives the drivers 30 minutes to pit and do their mandatory stop within that 30 minutes.
So just starting early, and it's a longer pit window than what it used to be.
So it's basically half the race distance, and then 15 minutes in the beginning, 15 minutes at the end. That does not count towards mandatory.
Yeah, correct.
But anyone who misses their mandatory stop within half an hour really doesn't have an excuse.
No, true that. Because now they have more than enough time.
Another thing to watch for. Obviously, speaking of the mandatory stops, they're going to come into play any time now because the pit window has opened. You're going to start seeing guys coming in.
But who's going to blink first? That's a question. But then again, would you want to put immediately at the start?
Another thing to bear in mind, I don't know if any of the drivers are listening because our stream did get cut, but another thing to bear in mind for the drivers out there, just remember the other problem that comes with the mandatory stop. There's a problem that comes with the mandatory stop, and a lot of drivers forget about it and get caught out in the process. When you come in for that mandatory stop, you've got to slow down properly.
That's it.
I've seen so many drivers throw it away.
I thought the back marker, and Walnut Canoe is going to be the first one into the pits.
I've seen so many drivers throw it away from the top 3, coming into the pits and getting a penalty. Gavin's second, 2.8 seconds is the gap. That gap holding firm for the time being. Chen now falling back, 3.3 seconds adrift. Not falling really into the clutches of Springbok Gamer. He's in his own race. 9 seconds adrift with Chen. Tebs is catching. And obviously see them in the same frame now.
Bringing
5
Tina
seconds.
in and Nick Leon with, because these guys are now in a battle, freeway tussle here for 5th place.
Judge hasn't given up on B Racing just yet. He's still there. He's just behind B Racing and just ahead of Boucher.
And Boucher's getting closer to them.
Walnut Canoe, he's the man in the pits, the only one in the pits. He'll be the first man to complete his mandatory stop. It'll be a long way to 40 minutes till the end. And I believe Walnut Canoe, there we go, he is on his way out. He has completed his pit stop, goes over the line, and do we have confirmation? No penalty. Okay, so nicely done. But now he's come out. come out a lap behind. Ooh, and he's really come out in between the judge and B Racing, and that's actually just allowed B Racing to extend that gap and give him a nice little cushion.
That's something Judge would have liked.
Judge no longer in the
mirrors.
Oh,
Nick Leon a drive-through. The drive-through for Nick Leon there.
What is that for? I didn't see.
I'm not sure. I think there was contact or something. I don't know, because he's not even coming to the pits, but he's got a drive-through penalty to serve.
If I remember correctly, and if anybody is watching and is able to comment and correct me, but I think if you corner cut excessively,
okay, that's it. Can be.
You get a drive through eventually. I think I heard something like that, but it's not one corner cut. It's I think you have to
cut a few consistently. I think you get some sort of warning, and if you still continue, then eventually comes to a drive-through. And Nick Leon is actually going to come into the pits.
Nick Leon comes into the pits. This is not going to count as his mandatory stop. This is just a drive-through. He's going to have to drive through the pit lane, obviously at... Is that 50 kilometers an hour?
Yep.
So he's going to have to go through at 50 kilometers an hour. It's Hungary, not the longest pit lane, but it's going to feel extremely long. Driving at 50 k's an hour while you can hear the cars roaring past you on the main straight. It's not where you want to be.
He's coming to the end of the pit lane now.
Plus he knows he's going to have to return to the pits in the next couple of laps.
There we go, he's on his way.
He comes out ahead of... Well, now it's getting a bit confusing. Walnut Canoe the only man a lap behind, so everybody else on the lead lap. Gap in the front, still 2.7, 2.8, holding firm. Chen still holding on to third. The judge now in the
pits as well.
As he did 2 rounds ago. 2 rounds ago, Chen got his way up into... It was actually very similar to this, now that I think of it. Chen was in 3rd, Tebs was in 5th. And he was able to hold on to that podium till the end of the race. See if Chen can pull off his 2nd podium in what, 3 races?
Just under 39 minutes to go. Still a bit of a distance, but it's possible. Just need to keep doing what he's doing. .7 seconds. We've seen lots of times in this season already where 1st and 2nd have switched because of the pit stop. So if Gavin can stay close enough to that green car ahead of him, then you can always get the pit stop that throws you ahead. But he doesn't want to give Kuda too much of a cushion. It's about timing it right.
Might find a 2nd or 2 in the pits, but I don't think you're going to find 5 or 6. So you don't want to give him too much of a cushion. Want to keep him as close as you can. And obviously if the mistake comes, you need to pounce. Chen still 3rd.
Freeway battle now for 4th place.
Starting to come under pressure for that 4th place. It was a lot more comfortable a few laps ago when he led by 8 seconds down to 5th. That is no longer the case. Yes, Tebs and Tina Hen.
I think it's this chicane actually where the problem came in, probably for Nick Leon with a drive-through, who's now actually in the pit serving his mandatory stop. Because a lot of guys actually tend to take just a little too much corner in that chicane. And Tebs on the back of that Lexus of Springbok Gamer.
Trying to get that Ferrari up into 4th. But just staying as close as he can there to Springbok Gamer, waiting for the mistake. No mistake as of yet. He's been pretty solid in that 4th place since the start of the race. It was the first time we've really seen him under pressure. Been racing
Tebs
alone.
Taking a different line than last time he passed someone here on the home straight.
Seen that Ferrari down the straight when it
looking
gets
on the inside, but not enough. Not enough. He's going to go again, but no, not enough.
he was going to do it, he should have done it the first time he thought of it.
Correct.
He sort of thought of it, backed off, thought of it again, and then there was no chance. And that actually let Tina Hen
and the second time Springbok Gamer saw him, and he actually countered by turning in as well. And like you say, now Tina Hen is right on the back of Tips.
Just that little hesitation, allowing the Audi to come back at him. These guys are on the edge of their concentration.
Bira Racing having a bit of a lonely time now. Nick Leon there with Boucher.
Tibbs really has his hands full.
Well, actually, Nick Leon is a lap down by the looks of it because he's got Chen in front of him. But trying to unlap himself.
Nick Leon, Walnut Canoe, and the judge are a lap behind, if I understand that timing screen correctly.
Correct. Springbok Gamer is staying on the inside just to cover Tips.
Having to drive defensively, and this is going to allow Chen to get up the road even quicker. If Springbok Gamer is watching his mirrors, maybe he thinks, okay, the best way for him to get past Springbok Gamer is the undercut.
Yeah.
And this could work out quite badly if Tina Hen can close that gap and
actually jump him.
If Tina Hen closes the gap and puts... Oh, Tina Hen goes off. Tina Hen goes off. Hope he wasn't listening to the commentary. He's like, hey, that's my name. And no. Tina Hen dropping back. That's not what he wanted to do when the car just in front of him, sitting in the pits. You want to have your best lap times now. Walnut Canoe.
And Kuda getting away from Gaff Peaks, so much for that, what you said earlier.
So is B Racing battling a lapped car? Seems like it.
Last thing you want is to see a lap car battling the lead cars. No point in that.
Springbok Gamer still fourth. Obviously he was defending from Tibbs, who's now in the pits. As I say that, he emerges from his pit box and over the line. One of the last garages in the...
and he's on his way.
Here we go. He's out in 8th. Now we'll watch Springbok Gamer. Is he going to come into the pits?
18 minutes left. Lap? 18 minutes left of his pit window.
He's approaching that final corner. Is he going to dive into the pits or stay out? He's staying out, it seems. Yes, he is.
Chen is in the pits.
Chen comes into the pits. Springbok Gamer stays out. What does Tina Hen do? Tina Hen stays out.
Out as well.
4th and 5th, they stay out. They will obviously get promoted as Chen becomes stationary. Gavin's still out there. Kuda's still out there. So your top 2 yet to pit. Man in 3rd. He's the first in the top 3.
And B Racing coming in as well.
Springbok Gamer staying out there. Chen comes out of the pits. And it's crucial. Yes, he gets out just ahead of Boucher and Judge. So if you get some lap cars ahead of you, it can just put you off in those opening corners.
And importantly, those two haven't pitted. Well, sorry, Boucher haven't pitted.
Able to get out ahead of them. Comes out in 5th. And he's 1.7 seconds away from Tina Hen, who hasn't pitted. So,
but that timing screen must update still.
Didn't come out in any sort of battle that he's going to be tripping over himself. He can just get down to getting back into the rhythm, getting back into the lap times. Springbok Gamer still 3rd. Well, now he's 3rd. He's holding on from Tina Hen, who's been able to close that gap again. Does he come into
Still
the
not
pits now?
coming in.
No, he doesn't.
Neither of them, both still going.
Tina Hen follows him, as did the leaders obviously, so top 4, yet to pit. Chen is your top running car to have done his mandatory stop.
Is he going to go for a late launch? No, he's not. Thought about it, but no, decided against it.
And also crucially for those two B racing coming out behind them, last thing you want is a car you're about to lap coming out of the pits just ahead of you when you're in a battle. Chen is 5th, 33 seconds adrift.
And Tina in right in the gearbox of Springbok Gamer, yeah.
Gavin's still maintaining the gap, 2.7, 2.1. He's actually closed the gap for the first time in a couple of laps, 2.1 seconds. So
because the gap actually started to open up again, it was over 3, almost approaching 3.5, and now more than a second loss. So I think Kuda made a mistake.
Is Gavin gonna? Yes, he is. Gavin's coming into the pits. Kuda stays out.
Can he do the undercut?
Gavin just saw that gap drop to 2 seconds and he thought, if I'm going to do the undercut, now's the time. The gap's closest it's been in a while. So he's going to come into the pits and have a frustrating time. He's going to want to get back out there as soon as he can. Springbok Gamer still comes around.
But Tina dives into the pits. Tina decided he's going to come in. Not going to be interesting. Can he get out in front of Tapes?
Got B Racing behind him, but shouldn't have to worry about B Racing too much. B Racing is a lap behind him. Yet to pit. Tina Hen still on his way in, looking for his garage. Gavin, he is at his garage. He's sitting there stationary, waiting to get going.
He should be about done almost.
The leader out on track.
Can be that Kuda's coming in this lap to counter that Binkley.
Gavin coming out. Well, my timing screens and what I'm seeing are not matching up, but okay. Why is Gavin just ahead of Tina Hen? And they've both done a mandatory. So, how did that happen? Tina Hen had a very short pit stop.
Very short.
Gavin had a long pit stop.
And Chen actually showing ahead of Gappy. Chen has jumped Gappy.
I think Gavin had a very long pit stop. I think that's what happened. I think he had a very long pit stop. Something went wrong in the pits. Because Chen has got ahead and that gap was quite substantial. That was 5 or 6 seconds.
And T9 is on the back of Gappy.
So unless something goes very wrong for Kuda here in the pits, he should come out in the lead. Second place man, Springbok Gamer, finally into the pits. The last man to make his mandatory stop. 12.5 minutes remaining on the pit window.
So all doing it pretty much with more than enough time to spare.
Seems like nobody getting speeding penalties this time round. Obviously, I think you can get them on the way out, can't you? So yeah, you can still get it on the way out.
Well, I don't talk too soon.
So 2 cars in the pits. Gavin is now coming around the final corner. Where is Kuda? Kuda's getting going. He's getting going
out.
Gavin's still busy around the last corner. He's going
Chen is through. Chen is through.
Now.
Chen is through. Chen is ahead of Kuda. Gappy is behind Kuda.
Seems like the earlier you pitted, the better it works out for you.
But Gappy actually messed up his pit stop. He stopped way longer than everyone else. Not sure why and what happened there.
Springbok Gamer, he is coming out of the pits. Chen gets past, Kuda gets past. Where is Springbok Gamer? He's... Ooh. Comes out just behind Gavin, actually. And, well, my timing screen. Sorry about that. He's in 5th. There we go.
Yeah,
he's
behind Gavin
behind,
and T9.
Behind Tina Head, and we'll have some clarification in a few seconds. How far behind he is, Tina Head? We don't know. It's blank. Tina Head 2.9 seconds ahead of Gavin. Gavin, after the pit stops, emerging in 3rd from what was a very strong 2nd.
A potential 1st.
Really a role reversal here. Chen leading the race. He was in 3rd place and dropping from the 2 leaders. He now leads the race. 25 minutes remaining. Does the Ferrari have the legs? Does Chen have the concentration?
T9 just not able to hold on to Gavpik.
It's one thing to have the concentration, it's another thing for the car to have the legs.
Mm-hmm.
0.8 of a second is the gap at the front between Chen and Kudo. Gavin closing the gap 3.9 seconds. It was 4.5 on the last lap, so he's going to come back at these top 2, and he may still have an opportunity if Kudo's not able to get past Chen, and that's allowing Gavin to get up the road. Oh, and he's bringing a mess of cars with him, isn't he?
That's it.
I even see Judge in the background.
Yeah, he's got this back markers to contend with, and he doesn't want to be holed up here for too long because he's trying to love to get past Judge ASAP.
Shake off those back markers as soon as possible and get to the job at hand. I see Judge still ahead of him. 24 minutes remaining on the clock. Still a lot of time to go. You did just 5/10 of a with some clear air ahead of him.
It almost looked like the Judge was going to go for Gavpik there and just slow down at the last possible moment. Oh, and Kuda's going to look on the inside of Chen. Kuda with a much tighter line. And for good measure, Chen runs wide.
Chen left the circuit there. What's he going to do? Is he going to try a switchback? I think Kuda's already got the inside,
No,
and
he's got
already
the inside.
slightly in front. Unless you wait for him to run wide and do the switchback, but that's not going to... Is it? No, almost. Almost. Go a little wider than he would have wanted, but I wouldn't exactly call it... It wasn't wide enough for Chen. Let's put it that way. Chen close behind, but is he going to be able to hold on, or is Kuda going to run away into the distance as he did before? And this time Gavin's 5 seconds away from where he wants to be. Wants to be right behind that green car. 3.9, so he took 1.1 seconds out on the last lap. That's obviously with these two interacting with each other. Gavin able to get up the road. Hands still fourth.
At the moment, this is where the real action is because the gaps further down is much bigger.
Following the action here at the front.
Oh, Walnut Canoe with a drive-through.
Drive-through penalty for Walnut Canoe. I think that is coming down to the corner cut. We haven't actually seen many examples of this during the season, to be quite honest. The drive-through. Seen it here and there, but
not every race.
We've had 2 in a matter of laps. Because if you're going to corner cut, the Hungary ring is an easy one to do so.
Oh, Chen runs wide again. Gavpik definitely the fastest guy at the moment because Gavpik is gaining.
When he's gaining quick, look at that 1.5 seconds to Chen. That gap was 4 seconds not so long ago. So he's going to do what he can to retake that 2nd place and get after that green car before he disappears. 1.9 seconds he is already away from Chen. Seems like when the Merc makes a pass for the lead and a lap later you're like, how is that the gap?
The Judge actually left on the hook here with a drive-through for Walnut.
Drive-through now cleared.
Because they were battling there, so the Judge now got breathing space.
Walnut Canoe has served that drive-through penalty, so all penalties are cleared off the screen for now.
Till the next round. On gapping now, less than a second. He's right actually on the gearbox of that Ferrari now. I think this is where the early stop is now going to start counting against you, because the guys who stopped later on much fresher rubber at this stage of the race.
Surely you're going to have fresher rubber in those last few laps, if it counts for anything.
It's pretty much like the start of a race all over again. These two battling, Gappy trying to get past so he can go after Kuda. And in the process, Kuda opened up the gap as Chen runs wide again. He goes off track again. Surely Gappy will have a better line coming out of the final corner.
He put everything into getting great traction out of the corner, which I think he did. He ran a little wider than he would have wanted.
Using as much as he can of the corner. He's right in the slipstream there. Will he dive to the inside? Yes, he does.
Wow, that car is so
will
much bigger than the Ferrari.
And Gappy is back into first, second place.
When that car was behind the Ferrari, did you see how much bigger? I'm talking width, height.
Yeah, no, that car's way bigger.
Wow, that thing is big. Love it. Does not look like it was aerodynamically designed to be a racing car, but for some reason it works. Just don't believe me, you can ask Jordan Pip.
Yeah, who drives one himself.
He actually won at the mountain with this crazy thing. It's insane. It's the last place I'd want to drive this car.
Somehow you can't think that that car's agile.
It's like this is the last place I would want to drive the Bentley is
the mountain. I agree. Because this thing looks like a ship, but meantime for its size it's actually nimble.
Kuda still leads. That gap between Kuda and Gavin is 4.8 seconds.
And Springbok game in a lonely 6.
This will be that last stint of the race, going into the last 15 minutes. The pit window will close in 3.5 minutes. Everyone has done their stops, so that is irrelevant. Gavin will be looking at closing that 4.3 second gap and using those extra laps he did. Let's see if he's got slightly fresher rubber. Don't know how much difference 2 or 3 laps makes in an endurance race, but
hello Bonita, welcome.
Good evening, welcome to SSR round 9.
Can't recall ever. I can't recall ever seeing Bonita, but well, welcome. Nice to always see somebody new.
Definitely, you've joined us with 17 minutes remaining on the clock.
All to race for you still by the top 3.
Is supporting anyone in particular there in the comment section?
Of course, guys, very quiet tonight. Not it is actually unlike the Midweek guys.
Racing channel that race of pace.
I mean, Sunday night race of pace. It was way over 100 comments.
Midweek Racing had over 100 comments, but so did the TNB channel.
Devil Bullets was also way over 50 comments, yes.
It was crazy amount of comments.
No, that was a good one on Sunday.
Considering we ran it over 2 channels and our audience is so small.
And we started late.
Interaction.
We started late and we still had for people come out and watch.
Race of Pace round 3, it was definitely a success and we all look forward to the Race of Pace round 4, whenever that will be. That will probably be at the end of the seasons that we are starting at the end
of. Which will probably might only be early next year.
And obviously if you want to be part of that, you need to make sure that do the best you can in the leagues that you'll be taking part in the next couple of weeks.
Of course, for Turbos and Bullets, new season starts tomorrow night. 100% racing, F1 full qualifying, full race distance, and of course season 2 will be multiplayer cars, and that season, as I say, start tomorrow night. So for the next couple of weeks, it will be F1 again on Friday nights. Just hop over
Going
to the
back
Turbos
to-
and Bullets channel to watch that. And of course,
Going back
Thursday
to-
nights, as on this channel, we do GT3 racing at Sonic Sim Racing, and Monday nights there's the GT4 at Sonic Sim Racing. But of course, those races are not streamed as yet at this point in time.
Races are not streamed, but we'll see. Maybe I'll maybe they'll Monday night will get comms here and there.
Yeah, there might be the odd race being streamed on a Monday night.
If I'm home and I want to, then I'll.
Mondays are normally the toughest.
I might just jump on. Monday nights you're usually depressed because you have 4 weeknights ahead of you. So, yeah. Buda still leads 4.4 seconds. Gavin
10
not
seconds
really
left
making
of a
the
pit window.
impression he'd want. Window will be gone.
No,
Done and
Kuda now managing that gap.
The window is now closed.
15 minutes left in this race.
Gavin needs a little mistake there from the Audi. Just something that can get him up the road. Something that can close that 4 seconds. Make it something closer. So he can get into the slipstream and just push that car as he did in the first segment of this race before the pit stops. We saw he was able to stay within a second. Now it's 4.4 seconds, not really. No, it wasn't a second, it was 2.7, 2.1. But now 4.4, not able to close the 4-second barrier for now. Chen holds on to third, pretty comfortably actually. Got a 10-second barrier between him and 4th place with 15 minutes remaining.
Bearing no mistakes, that should be enough for him to get onto the podium, yeah?
No real battles to speak of in the midfield, but B racing on the back of
Boucher, yeah. Oh, and he goes off track a bit. That surely will allow Boucher to get away a bit, even if it's just momentarily. Because the gap still is not much to speak of. B Racing definitely putting him under pressure. And the gap in front actually came down a bit. It's now under 4 seconds.
3.8 seconds, so Gavin just finding 4/10 of a second, closing that gap ever so slightly, and if he can close that sort of 4/10 of a second a lap for the next 12 minutes, well,
Never say never.
just running a little bit wide there on that final
Yes.
corner, but a lot of the guys not taking that corner as tightly as
What you would
thought
think.
they would. Maybe just trying to get that brilliant run onto the straight and trying to use all of the racetrack in order to do it, and you end up going over the line a little bit and running wide. Not going to help you down the straight. But that gap's 3.8 seconds. We'll see when he goes over the timing beam. They'll both go over the timing beam shortly.
Nick Leon in a very lowly 7th.
It was 3.8, it's now 3.5. So closing another 2.5 tenths in the first sector. Gavin finding time in these late stages of the race.
That gap is now 3.5.
Heard Murray Walker say this many times. One thing to catch, it's a totally different thing to watch.
Yep.
It's 12 minutes remaining. 3.5 seconds is the gap. They're going to go over another timing beam any second now, and then we'll get an update. He picked up 2.5 tenths in the last sector. He's been able to find anything more. It was 3.5. It's 3.4, so finding just a little bit. Nothing really much to speak of there in sector 2. No real battles out on track right
Still
now.
just B Racer and Boucher.
Just watching this gap for the lead. It's the main talking point in the race right now. It was 3.4, it's now 3.7, so Kuda's pulled some of it back. Kuda's pulled some of it back. Gavin won't want to see that.
No, definitely not.
Just love it if we could ride on board with Gavin and just see what he sees, but unfortunately just broadcast cam. But hopefully we'll get a few camera angles. If you look at this game on the
PC version?
version, apparently you've even got helicopter cam. Imagine what we could do with that. If you could select helicopter cam in F1 whenever you wanted, that would be brilliant. Some awesome battles. Kuda leads 4.1 seconds, so he found another 4/10 there in sector 2, so in sector 1, sorry. So Kuda has responded to that time dropping. He's responded well. 4.1 seconds. Chen still holding on. Tina Hen 11.9 seconds now adrift, so that gap's actually gotten slightly bigger. Looks like a safe third place. Second, third place in 3 races. It's a great consistent performance. Gavin still second, 3.7, so that gap just yo-yoing a bit. 9 minutes left. Gonna have to close this gap substantially in the next 3 or 4 laps. Gonna run out of time. Be racing side by side with Boucher, and he's gotten by.
Coming into the inside line, and yeah, he's what he said. Well, more than enough space actually.
Just joined them when they were going side by side.
Gap under 4 now again here in front. .9 was 3.7, so it's just going up and down slightly. Gavin will want it to only go in one direction, and that's less and less and less. But I think he's... Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing on the map. 3.9 seconds is still the gap. So many blue flags out there, and I don't even know who they for. It's just a mess. You know what they could do, like they've got this little green block, like you could put a little block next to it. If it's got yellow, it means, you know, yellow flags, that guy's off, or blue flags means that guy's getting blue flag. They could add little things here in spectator mode that could really add to the information we're able to give you. Drive-through for track limits. Who got a drive-through? Nick Leon. Second drive-through, I believe, of the race for him. Correct.
That's his second drive-through. He's in 7th. He was in 7th the first time he got a drive-through. He's in 7th again. Got his way back to 7th, only to get another drive-through. He's going to have to come in the next 2 laps, I believe, otherwise you get disqualified. You don't have much time to play with that drive-through, plus he doesn't have much time in the race. Remember, if you don't serve your penalty, well, you either get disqualified, or if it lets you drive that long, you will get the longest pit stop of the race as a penalty. You know, Gavin spent a long time in the pits. Basically, your penalty will be well over a minute. Let's go back to the front where the gap's 3.4 seconds. It's running out of time, 6.5 minutes remaining. Need a mistake from your leader. Need him to maybe get wrapped up in some traffic or something like that, but I don't... Oh, there is a car in front of him. Actually, as I say that, he is approaching traffic. He's approaching a few cars. Wonder if this might just put him off and let Gavin come up the road. As I say, that 2.9 seconds. First
Yeah,
time we've
gap
seen the
is
gap.
dropping now, big time.
First time we've seen the gap back in the twos. And look at that. On the pit straight together. Drive through cleared there for Nick Leon. He comes out in 7th. Went in 7th, came out in 7th, so didn't lose a position. Stays out of the battle there. Actually, he's come out in between Huda and Gav. That is not where you want to be if you are the lapped car.
Nope.
You do not want to be in between first and second place.
Springbok game is still very much lonely there.
So Kuda is lapping Boucher,
Yeah.
but Boucher's 2 laps behind. So Kuda's so Nick Leon is gonna lap. No, sorry, my timing screens were on. So he's lost the position. He's gone down to 9th. Sorry, my timing screen said he was in 7th.
Yeah.
He's in 9th. So he did lose 2 positions. He's obviously very interested in that position ahead of him. That's E. Boucher. He can improve that 9th to 8th. There's a penalty for... Oh no.
No, Gav because jacking away, he pushed too hard. Corner cutting, probably a plenty there. Pushing way too hard. Brought the gap on so nicely, and now Momentum made an error that actually is going to cost him.
He's got about 18 seconds gap down to 4th place, Tina Hen. So he's going to come in. Obviously, immediately, he's got these 2 cars in front of him. He might as well come in right now. That's what he does. He's coming in to serve that. I think Chen will get promoted to 2nd, but I think he's going to be able to hold on to 3rd. Slow down, make sure you're doing 50 k's an hour, as frustrating as it may be. He's going to hear Chen roaring past him on the straight. Chen takes 2nd place. That'll update on your timing screen shortly. Where is Tina Hen? He's coming around the final corner. Gavin's still on the pit straight. Where is Tina Hen? He's coming over the start finish line. Gavin slowly merging. Tina Hen's jumped him. Only just, but he's jumped him. And that will be 4th place for Gavin, unless he can do anything about that Audi in front of him.
3.5 minutes ago, I doubt it.
What an up and down race for Tina Hen. She didn't see a podium on the horizon a few laps ago, or half an hour ago. Chen now promoted up into 2nd place and getting a lot of grass there on the outside. Just a little bit ragged there, unless that was internet connection showing me something that wasn't there. It looked like he just got more grass than he would have liked. On the outside of the corner, he's not under any pressure. Tina Hen's in 3rd, but 16 seconds adrift. Tina Hen is under pressure with 2.5 minutes remaining. If he's going to hold on to that 3rd place, he's going to work for it. Mirror will be full of Bentley. Not sure if that car's behind you. It's not going to be anything else in the mirror, just that grill. That car's so big it's impossible to be in your blind spot. You'll always see part of it. Then getting really close on the straight, but not close enough. Just under 2 minutes remaining. So I think we'll still get 2 laps out of this race. They've done 32 laps. Robin is lining something up. Getting really close. Staying as tight to the inside curbs as he can, waiting for that mistake. If Tina Hen does run wide, Gavin's going to be there to take it. 5 seconds the gap at the front. 10 second. Just over a minute to go. This battle on track is actually between for 7th place, Nick Leon doing everything he can to take B Racing and reclaim his 7th place, where he's been a few times in this race. He doesn't do any
Okay, leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
confirmation. Leader is on his final lap. We'll just get one more lap. Will Gavin do anything on the final lap? One final lunge, one final push. Finished 4th last week. Doesn't want to finish 4th again. I'm sure he wants to take that step up onto the podium. Will the Audi make an error?
Doubt it.
It's not close enough on that straight.
Nope. Here we go.
No
1
way
second
near close
and time is officially over.
Gonna ride with Kudo. Where is your leader? He is in sector 2.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a yellow flag as well there. Looks like it's cleared.
Gavin's gonna have to
Yeah,
do
I think
this.
it was Nick Leon. Nick Leon had a moment there.
Gavin's gonna have to do this in sector 2 or 3 of the final lap. He's running out of time. Let's see, where is Kudo? Entering sector 3.
Definitely a race of 2 halves.
Definitely a race of 2 halves.
Well, even if you could take this, you could take this last half and split that even into 2 halves, because you had Gavin was well and truly into second, but that drive-through.
We'll join your leader real quick as he goes
There we
around
go.
the final corner.
Yeah, coming around now, approaching the start-finish line, and that is a wrap. There we go.
Finish the race.
There's
Kuda
your
wins
race winner.
round
Well
9.
done, Kuda.
In Hungary at the Hungaro ring.
Took the
James
lead.
coming around the final corner.
Took a lead
second place for Ferrari.
briefly were second place when Chen came, when Chen wasn't first when he came out, but he made short work of it, and since then he was back in the lead. So well controlled race there by Kuda. Chen bringing it home in second place. Tinaen, oh, and Gappy's going to chase Tinaen right to the end, and Tinaen just manages to bring it back in third ahead of Gappy in fourth. But Gaffpig were chasing him right there at the very end. So much so Tino goes straight off at the first corner into the tyre barrier.
Just going to try and obviously everyone knows this game's a little broke in spectator mode, so you're going to have these names disappear off your screen any second, and then it's going to become very difficult.
Fifth.
Going to become very difficult to read your results.
There you go, depth 6. Just waiting for Walnut Canoe, who's coming around the final corner now. Then everybody would have finished across the start-finish line.
Let me just go through that order before it disappears from your screen. So obviously a victory for Kuda. He won from Chen, who had a fantastic race. He just kept it consistent and let everybody's misfortunes happen around him. He finished up in second. Tina Hen, I think he would have been really happy if you told him third place half an hour ago. Gavin, fourth place. It was a race he could have won. He was in second in that first half of the race, really close behind. Decided to go for the undercut. Did he go for the overcut? Did he pit? No, he pitted first, but he just spent way too much time in the pits.
Yes, correct.
Came out in fourth, had to have a recovery drive. Had a fantastic recovery drive up to second, and then got a drive through. But I think all said and done, he'll still be happy with that fourth place. Just Tina Hen third, Gavin fourth, Springbok Gamer fifth place. He was in fourth in the beginning of the race. Was able to just lost the one position, maintain fifth ahead of Tebs. Then Boucher 7th, B Racing 8th place, Nick Leon 9th. The judge, such a strong race in the beginning.
Yay.
Just got tagged by the man in 6th by that Ferrari. And Walnut Canoe bringing up the end of the field. We actually started at 12, we ended with 11, just losing the one driver. That was the D-man, not having a fantastic race, calling it a day. And
everyone else stayed pretty much in it and kept on fighting until the end.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Hungaroring, 1 hour of the Hungaroring SSR
And all
round
not
9.
going to do is going to be the final car coming to a pit, and then pretty much this is going to now cut out.
Kuda, Chen, Dinahen, that's your top 3, that's your podium. Gavin, 4th place, second time in 2 races. Hopefully next week takes that one step up onto the podium.
But for
From
those
my
of
side,
you, yeah, I just want
I'm
to say
gonna
for
say-
those who joined, thank you.
I'm going to say from my side my goodbyes. I'm going to let Johan say his goodbyes. Thank you for everyone who watched. I saw there were 4 and then 6 and then 7 people watching, so
And a few comments.
everyone who watched, not too many comments, you guys were quiet, but thanks for watching anyway, and hopefully whoever did watch will be back next week to watch us again. Guys,
And of
thanks a lot.
course-
We'll be back for round 10. Cheers.
Guys, thank you. Of course, next week, same time, same place, round 10, which is also, if I'm not mistaken, final round of the season. So that should be a biggie, so finish the season off well. Of course, we will stream to the same channel. Feel free to join us, and of course, for those of you joining again, by all means, feel free to post comments there in the comment section and be part of the chat as always. So till next week, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you again. Goodbye.
Cheers.